Now, on a hopeful note, America is not as divided as it may seem. Scott, what is Rasmussen's ray of light for this week?
Well, this week, we're going to celebrate the fact that only 8% of voters talk politics daily. Some people might see that as a negative indicator. They think we should be far more engaged with everything going on in Washington. But the reason that I look at this as a positive is it shows people have other things going on in their life that also play a key role in a self-governing society. Formal government is not the only way we make society work. You know, if you have a spouse, well, guess what? They play a role in governing your life. So does your employer or your kids or leagues and bands and whatever else you're involved with. Those are the things that make society work, and we don't want to ignore our commitment to them just to pay attention to what's going on in official Washington.
Well, and so many people want change. Doesn't matter what you're talking about. People want things to change. And there's that saying that change comes from outside of government, outside of Washington, right?
That's right. You know, there's a great story from the early days of our republic. Thomas Jefferson, one of the legends, he didn't want manufacturing to be in America. He had this idea we should be an agrarian society. We'll let Europe handle all that messy stuff with manufacturing, and we'll just trade with them. While he was president of the United States, a guy named Sam Slater created America's factory system. He laid the groundwork for what became the manufacturing giant that fueled our growth as a nation. He created the idea that you went to work. He created the need for a time clock. You know, Jefferson at Monticello has a big clock with only an hour hand on it because in an agrarian society, nothing else matters. Sam Slater, nobody knows who he is, but he changed America more than Thomas Jefferson when Jefferson was president of the United States.
And yet most of us have never heard his name until right now.
That's right. And by the way, I should tell you, in America, he's known as the father of American manufacturing. But in England, where he came from, he was called Slater the Traitor because he took all his stuff to those dastardly colonies.
How could he do that?
Yeah.
But we're glad he did. All right, so Scott, we've covered a lot today. So what is the one thing you'd like people to really take away and remember?
When we start talking about a presidential election year and we start talking about what is going on in America that's really defining where the nation is, the most important thing to remember, only 19%, 1 out of 5 Americans say their own personal finances are getting better. 44% say they're getting worse. These are the worst readings we've had on this measure in months, actually going back years. This is a high level of pessimism. And if it doesn't change, well, the presidential election will hinge on it, but also it'll be a very tough time for America.